Hello, I'm Kevin. Got your wallpaper for August 12th, 2026. And today, we got an NBA first round pick, an undrafted NFL lineman, and one ridiculous month for an Astro, and a college hockey defenseman who put up numbers that sound fake now. So let's start with the Golden State Warriors and Zarko Cabarkapa. I don't know. Okay, dude was a 6'11" forward from Serbia who was already playing professionally in Europe as a teenager. He was good enough that Phoenix chose him 17th overall in the loaded 2003 NBA draft. The Suns eventually traded him to Golden State in February 2025, and he wore number 11 for the Warriors. Cabarkapa could run the floor, shoot a little, and handle the ball unusually well for somebody that tall. See, I got my Warriors flag here. But injuries kept interrupting his NBA career before it could really develop. But here's the career highlight. Cabarkapa was a member of the Yugoslavian national team that won the 2002 FIBA World Championship in Indianapolis. And think about who they had to beat. They beat the United States in Indianapolis. Then Yugoslavia beat Argentina in overtime in the gold medal game. Cabarkapa wasn't a major player on that team. He was just 21. But he went home a world champion before ever playing a single NBA game. And that's a pretty good line to start with on your resume. Now we go to Carolina. Number 65, Garry Williams. Williams was a 6'3", 315-pound offensive lineman out of Kentucky, and nobody drafted him in 2009. Carolina brought him in as an undrafted free agent, and this is where I think his career highlight actually is. Because Williams, he was the only undrafted rookie to make the Panthers' opening day roster in 2009. And a year later, he wasn't just hanging around. He started 11 games at right tackle. That's the part of the NFL that gets forgotten. Hundreds of guys get invited into camps every year, and most disappear before anybody outside the building even learns their names. Garry Williams walked in without being drafted and turned himself into a legit starter. He started at both tackle and guard for Carolina, and the Panthers kept finding reasons to bring him back. And there's no Pro Bowl attached to his name, but there doesn't need to be. Because from going undrafted to starting 11 NFL games, that's a highlight. That's beating the door down that nobody opened for you. So now Houston. And we got Houston over here. There we go. See my little shit, where is it? The gnome, yeah. If you watched the Astros in 2007 or 08, you probably remember this guy, Ty Wigginton, number 21. Wigginton came over from Tampa Bay in the Dan Wheeler trade during 2007. He could play third, first, and eventually some left field. He wasn't a superstar, but in August 2008, Ty Wigginton became Barry Bonds for a couple weeks. I'm not even exaggerating. During the week of August 11th through 17th, Wigginton went 16 for 28. That's a .571 batting average. He had 4 homers, drove in 11, and that earned him co-National League Player of the Week with Johan Santana. And it wasn't just one random hot week. Wigginton had a career-best 15-game hitting streak that August, and during the streak, he had .491 with 7 home runs. For the month, he hit .379. Now that is the Ty Wigginton highlight. For a little while in 2008, every time that guy came to the plate, something good seemed to happen. And if you watched those Astros at the time, you remember how weird baseball can be. A guy can spend 12 years being a perfectly respectable major leaguer, and for 2 or 3 weeks, he's the best hitter on the planet. Finally, the St. Louis Blues. Where's the Blues? Here's the Blues. Where's the gnome? There he is. Craig Norwich, defenseman number 5. Norwich only played 23 games for St. Louis during 1980-81, and he was productive, 4 goals and 12 assists. But his real career highlight happened at the University of Wisconsin. Craig Norwich was a monster in college hockey. during 1976-77, this defenseman scored 83 points. Defenseman, 83 points. He had 65 assists, and that's one of those numbers where you gotta look twice or three times because you assume you read it wrong. Nope, not a forward, he's a defenseman. 83 points. Norwich was a two-time first-team All-American, and in 1977, he helped Wisconsin win the NCAA National Championship. He was also named to the NCAA All-Tournament team, so his Blues stay was basically a cup of coffee compared with what he'd already done in Madison. National champion, All-American, and 83 points from the blue line. That's the Craig Norwich I remember. So today we got Zarko Cabarkapa, already a world champion before arriving in the NBA. Garry Williams, who turned an undrafted invitation into a starting job in the NFL. Ty Wigginton, who spent part of August 2008 hitting like somebody entered a cheat code. And Craig Norwich,